Hello everyone and welcome to D2C Dialogues. Today we have with us Jitendra Sharma, founder and CEO at Hairoriginals. Their LinkedIn profile goes like this: India's first premium brand for 100% natural hair extensions, featured and funded by Shark Tank India. Feel the charm, the world's first luxury brand of 100% natural Indian human hair, as shown in Shark Tank India. By giving vitality to the ends of your hair with our feathery alternatives, you can say goodbye to hair shedding. Welcome to D2C Dialogues, Jitendra.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, Jitendra, we start with you. You are an IIT Delhi alumni and you were working in oil and gas for years and decade. How did you venture into a category such as a hair? Because it's very intriguing and very exciting also to hear that a chemical engineer from so and so place and working across the globe suddenly decides to get into the hair category, and that too of hair extension products, etc. So can you just tell us about your story? How did this transformation happen?
Yeah, so actually, a lot of people get surprised by this whole journey. And when I look back, even I myself get surprised at times. It went like this. I graduated 2008 and I was into oil and gas profile for good 11 years of my life. I worked with Total and worked across 40 countries. So, one thing what I felt first just happened with me when I was in Angola. And I had a friend with me, and he mentioned, local friend from the country. He talked about his wife and all, how they are taking using hair products, which actually he's told me is coming from India. So I was initially a bit surprised, and I was like, okay, I don't know. And they were like, can you bring it for us from India next time when you come? And the similar thing happened with a Brazilian friend of mine. I used to be at rigs and all also, and after work there were not much to do for the work side. So we used to discuss a lot and things. So he told me the same thing, that it's a huge demand side, and in India there is a tradition of donation of hair at temples, and that is such good quality hair and all. And then I researched about it. That was the first seed, and I realized it is a $14 billion global market. And brands have been created in Europe, US, and all, while India is the only ethical source of this. So India had been used only as a raw material source. So that is where my first thought came up, that this is something where actually we can think of something going global from India. So that was the whole idea, and I used my time being in different countries. I did a market research on the demand side in at least 10 plus countries while I was there. I talked to as many people, as many potential customers, and then I did a back end research here, that how unorganized this market is within India on the supply chain and procurement side. So that kept me, going. And after initial, I would say, all sort of market surveys, researches, doing a bit of manufacturing in the beginning alongside my job, then I realized that this is something which is my destiny. I should really go forward to. And honestly, I have always loved this feeling that this thing came to me, and I really see this thing going very, very far ahead. And I think there is, in personal beauty space, if there is any global brand that can go, it can go into this category, because India has a strategic advantage. So that is how the whole shift happened.
I think excellent. You have, in a nutshell, you have given the core of your business and why you entered this. The India is the only, you use the word, one of the only product sourcing hub for hair. Yes. And the brands across the Europe are sourcing hair from India, and we don't have a single global brand, in this category. Yes. So you have the raw material, you have got, you have got the capabilities to make a brand out of this. So then how did you start? So it's not a easy thing, getting hair is one part of it, which is easily available, temples across the country and other places as well. But what was the first step that you took, in creating this business once you decided that, yes, hair originals is what I want to spend my major life, building on, and hair extension products are the categories that I'm going to get into.
So, if we looked at a bigger picture globally, how the value chain had been. So, like you mentioned, hair is source is here, but to reach to a top quality finished product, the processing, the technology, the manufacturing capabilities, and consistent innovations are not being done in our country. They are being done in different parts of the world, like China and etc. So obviously, I realize that the moat or the real business, I would say, advantage would be created when we learn all the processing technologies, when we bring in innovation into the manufacturing, and when we can actually make world class finished products which can sit with top of the top brands. And since there are so many middlemen today, if we are able to make all of this within a year, it's a light product, and then we can send it to direct consumer around the globe. We can send this top quality product at a much better price points to the global consumer. So that is basically was the major, I would say, idea first, and that's why we focused on manufacturing and getting manufacturing technologies around. There is a lot to do with chemical engineering also, because hair coloring, hair coatings, and all of those things are involved. I also have one of my junior from IT Delhi. Only his only dedicated part is to keep on doing his experiments, researches, how we can make further more, let's say, better quality processing and all of those, which is a consistent part of it. So again, being engineers, being tech savvy, this is something which anyways is always very something which which gives a lot of good feeling to bring into our country. And apart from that, what I have realized, again, I personally feel India has been exploited in this segment. And no job creation happened within India in this segment, and the whole $14 billion industry has been set up. So while we are able to do it, a lot of employment generation, a lot of skill generation is also going to take place along, which is already what we have been doing. And that's how it led us, to this whole thing. And one very important aspect is, if we look at the consumers, who are the target groups. So one is aspirational consumer, other one is a need-based consumer. And if we look at in the need-based also, there are customers who have like having chemotherapies or losing hair, alopecia patients and all. And that is where, it is a very important aspect of their life. And a huge number of, I would say, population is facing these problems. So obviously, this is again a very something where you directly feel you are solving a bigger problem, and you are able to bring happiness to the lives of the people. So that is something obviously which keeps us going.
Solving a bigger problem and bringing happiness to the lives of consumers. I think that's what, it's the core of what you do, Jitendra, and that's going to give you the satisfaction that you are able to bring smiles and happiness to the consumers. But you may also have, got those sleepless nights when you started doing this, and there was no smile in your face also in the initial days.
Yeah.
Okay, how did you manage? What were the major impediments for you, and how did you manage and overcome those impediments?
So obviously, the first major challenge was, 11 years of my whole career built in something else. This was a complete risk. It's like risking all of your career basically, right? Then when I full time started it, it was just beginning of like Jan 2020. So like when I got settled into things, then COVID started. So that is something where, I really felt that, that was really tough time. I sort of felt that maybe the timing has gone a bit wrong or whatever. And our major market at that point, where we had thought of initially, was America, that we would start directly in America, this particular thing. But again, due to COVID, due to all the disruptions, this is something which could not be done. So basically the market with which we started, we realized at least for next 6 months, we cannot do anything there. So those were the thoughts then. But again, as I always feel, and I felt it also, that sometimes uh, such things are blessing in disguise, and which is actually what happened. Because we had no other choice, and obviously, that was the time it was really tough. And in the beginning, I think almost all of my savings I had put into this business. Then further, obviously, we did fundraisers and all of those. But I had never thought of how India would be as a market for these products. But when COVID happened, we had no other choice but to obviously try here, because everybody, where else we were not able to send our products. But what we realized, that actually this is apt time, and such a market demand already has been created there also, I mean, within our own country. So it happened as a, I would say, as a blessing in disguise. And I mean, by God's grace, we were able to capitalize on this opportunity, and now we are actually building our company within India, and also simultaneously building in the American markets too. So those were the issues. Another big issue that we felt, again, as I said, in India, it's a very, very unorganized market. You hardly find people who are into this, even from a skilled worker levels to all of that. So there have been times when me and our core team, we have even sat down doing the basic things ourselves, learning it through videos and this and that, and then teaching it around to the people we got up. There were a lot of women we initially got who were actually working in the nearby vicinity areas in houses. We got them, gave them some skill trainings alongside us, and now they are doing respectable jobs. A lot of skill trainings have been done around. So obviously, it's getting the skill trainings, getting the right machinery, and then a lot of times we have made it ourselves also. How, I mean, sort of. So obviously that knowledge to initially learn was a major challenge, and then to really figure out how supply chain works, it was so broken. It has taken quite some time to understand it, and at one point it was really complicated and really had sleepless nights.
But it was really difficult to, so what was the first product that you made? Because you were not as specialist.
Yeah. So basically, the first product that we made is called as a pre-bonded extension. Now that is something where even some of the side materials you need to get from different countries. Like, for example, there is a special adhesive you need to get from Italy and all of those. To find out what are those ingredients, first of all, then where do you get the best quality ingredient, how to test that this is the best quality ingredient, and doing all of those things. So that is how it happened. Then obviously it had taken a lot of trials also, that how you can reach to that product, basically, which is where you can put it on the shelf alongside, let's say, some American brand. So obviously, all of that has been a lot of hit and trial, a lot of I would say, even testing of the chemical compositions and things in that, of those adhesives and tapes and things, has gone into this to really then come up with the final products. So there were no parallels, in any other industry. For example, let's say if it is about anything that we keep in mind at tech, wherever, or any manufacturing facility, you normally have other manufacturing similar facilities. Here, when we tried to find out, even if there are some small vendor, none of them has gone to the level, they are happy selling raw material or the first basic value addition. So that has been something which was really tough to crack. And I still feel, this is step one. Then we want to do some innovations also. But again, for the level one, we wanted to be doing what is done in the world by other brands globally.
So how long is the supply chain? If you can, succinctly tell us, right from the hair which is sourced till the, the final product.
You mean how it is made?
Yes.
How much time is
Yes.
So right from the sourcing of the product, like when you have got the hair in the most raw form, to making a finished product, although there are different product lines, it takes from 4 to 7 days to get different sort of product lines done.
Okay, good. So once you got your idea, and then you started making it, you got your first product done. The second stage was that of marketing. Now that you have taken care of product, and obviously supply chain was being worked out parallelly, because it was an ongoing and it is an ongoing effort. But how did you start? Because nobody knew Hair Originals. Nobody knew, for that matter, Jitendra, that, okay, this is a man who has started Hair Originals. Both of them were unknown. How did you spread the word? What is it that you did? And what is the result today? So we'll start with, how did you market yourself?
So, I would say the first thing that we realized initially with the bit of market research, that salon segment would be something where we can, take it as a step one and use it. Basically, our potential consumers are also those who are visiting, let's say, good salons and getting hair colors and all of those and things. So the first thing was to build up a partner salon sort of a network, and obviously some marketing around it, but also doing trainings to them, because a lot of salons were not also aware about how to use these products. So we use trainings as a very important medium to teach them that this is a good revenue service even for a salon, because there are services also involved in some part of the products also. So we made a good network of the salon chains, salon networks, and that was the level one, I would say. Then obviously after that we also started having our own website and do going direct to consumer, wherein with social medias and all other marketing channels we started to get known. And obviously I would be thankful to Shark Tank India that it made us a household name, because this was a category which is people are already living with a problem or are living with this aspiration. So the moment when they saw something like this, so they identified with the problem and they realized that such solutions, instant solutions also exist. So that is something I would say which also somewhere helped. And apart from that, obviously, we are constantly doing influencer marketing sort of campaigns and all of those, so that more and more awareness is being created, and obviously the brand recall is being built.
You spoke about Shark Tank. How was your experience there? And obviously, it's a great platform. But what happened, and how did you benefit from it?
So see, I'll say definitely Shark Tank India was a very, 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 very special experience for one major reason. I would say, that this is again in India, it is still in a new category creation phase. Still, people are trying to get around it and all of those. But on Shark Tank India, especially, it was more of, for me, I personally took it more of a validation of this particular category or this idea which we were doing. And since all the five sharks there, they all were pretty, convinced, and all of them wanted to be on board with the idea. So that was a very good validation, I would say, of this. Before that, I would say there were also a lot of people who used to tell me that you had such a great career in Paris and all. Why do you want to go into this space and all? And then obviously I saw a lot of people changing, the same people, that okay, I think you knew what you were doing and all. So basically it was a good validation, and then obviously it led to being a consumer brand. It also led to a very good visibility around, as I mentioned. And I would say in general, a lot of awareness about this whole category came into picture, which is obviously is very, very fruitful in the longer term.
Nice. So, Jitendra, since you're talking about Shark Tank, can you tell us more about your funding and that challenge, and how did you overcome the funding part of it?
So we talk about the funding that we raised on Shark Tank is what
that is one part, and overall as Hair Originals.
Understood. So basically, again, as Shark Tank India is something, you don't plan for it. Obviously, that where we were selected. So I would say funding was obviously not the only objective there. It was more of, I would say, validation and recognition of a company. But obviously, while especially in a new category creation, a lot of effort in building a team, in trying out newer marketing things and all. Some would work, some would not work, and obviously in the beginning you have to keep trying a lot of things. So obviously external funds are always needed to build a company, especially to where we are also doing manufacturing and trying to do R&D parts and all. So we, apart from Shark Tank, we had raised an institutional investment round that happened around, I would say, 12 months back. And that is something where we, again, to build up our team to expand the revenues further. Again, what we are trying is to really grow quick, grow global. So obviously, at the initial level, some part of equity financing is definitely needed to really build fast and build in a, I would say, in a capital efficient manner too.
Sure. So Jitendra, now can you tell us about the Indian customer today? And you should also tell us, because you export these products, right?
Yeah, we do export too.
So how is the Indian market different from the foreign one?
So I would say if we take a foreign market, let's take any developed market, for example, let's say Europe or US in general. So it is a more evolved market than India. In India, it is more of, this trend is now getting more and more bigger with each passing day, which is like normally, if you see, the trends come first within the developed countries and the US and all, and then they try to, then the Indians keep on following it. Now that window is getting shorter with more and more exposure. So I would say in the US already, especially Afro-American population, they are using it as a necessity product. They genetically do not have good hair. The women especially I'm talking about. And otherwise, the women around the world are using hair extensions as an alternative to hair color without damaging their own hair with the chemical of the hair. So that is a, I would say, evolved market and growing very fast, around a 12% CAGR annually. Talking about Indian market, again, India is a big market, at least look at the consumption level. But in India, it is, I would say, still in the growth phase, still in the early category creation phase. There are consumers who are getting aware about such solutions available to them, which are instant and non-surgical, and are adopting to it. But I think the growth is going to be much faster within Indian market. But initially, obviously, category creation phase, there are a lot of people who are still unaware about this.
Okay, how big is the Indian market?
So there are no real estimates done by any, I would say, any big four or whoever, no reports as such. But we have done our potential market sizing with respect to the potential consumers and all of that. So as per our estimates, there is a $1.5 billion potential market that exists for these category products.
So the hair market, and I will use the word hair extension products market, is $1.5 billion in India.
Yes.
So who would be the biggest, who are the biggest players, and if not the competitor, but who are the players in this? Because it can't be left, unserviced.
So see, when I said potential, first of all, when I said, then obviously, you have to build it up. It doesn't, that's where I said the real numbers have to come up by some data. This is something that it can be made in the next, let's say, 3-4 years. The market sort of TAM can be brought to this particular level.
Yeah.
But to answer to your question, in India, currently, most of it is unorganized. It is not being, especially on the permanent extension category or the offline B2B or salon-led categories and all. You would not find any tangible brands and all of that, and that is a space we are quickly trying to fill in. That's where the first mover advantage also lies within India. That exists. Otherwise, in India, I would say it is still early days for this category.
Early days. So how do you plan to expand, Jitendra, in India to start with, and then abroad? And are you going to have your own clinics in the future, or how?
So we call them experience centers. For us, like sort of the retail presence or omni-channel presence. We already have them in 5 cities. our approach within Indian market is, see, it is again a very experiential product. Again, something where customer has to understand and get to feel it, use it. So we constantly have. That's why we have built up a very strong salon network, partner salon network. That we create maximum touch point for our customers to try the products. So that is the major strategy which lies, and then we want to scale on that. Talking about alongside that, we are already now in that phase where we are building on the American markets too. But in the Indian markets, we have realized that we are going directly to the consumer and giving them as many touch points to try the products, pretty much like a lens cart sort of, I would say GTM is how we look for a new category.
So Jitendra, does Hair Original plan to diversify? For example, getting into other categories related to hair, shampoos and stuff like that. Or you would like to get into the salon business? And I'm just thinking aloud, you are the best person to answer that. But you must have thought about some diversification.
So see, we first of all, the market for us lies within the hair extension. That's a very untapped market, and it will take quite some time to really tap that market only. But definitely, I would not call it diversify. But again, with our products, there are a lot of associated hair care products that the consumer already has been demanding. So that is something we will begin with this, and then obviously we'll full-fledgedly move around it.
So I can see from a hair to a beauty product company coming soon.
To a hair care company.
To hair care. Yes, good. With this, Jitendra, what would be your advice for people who would like to get into this category? And this is a very, very niche category, hair extension products category is an extremely niche category. But if at all you have to give an advice to a young budding entrepreneur, what would that be?
So, for this particular category, I would tell, don't think for maybe, again, there is no shortcut to anything in life. Again, you have to really understand the whole thing. It has taken me many years. What I would suggest to people for this particular category in itself, you should really enter into it. First of all, thinking that what is the differentiation you can bring into it. Something when it is a new category creation, when there are a lot of, almost everything is a new thing, I would say. So obviously a lot of hit and trials and all. So I would say perseverance is very important.
Perseverance.
That is the most important aspect.
Absolutely. Well said, Jitendra. We'll go to the rapid fire round, Jitendra, now. There are a couple of questions that I'm going to ask you. We'll start with the first one, and that is, which is your favorite Hair Originals product?
My favorite Hair Originals product, I would say, is a color streak for kids that we have launched.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good. Top 3 words that describe the essence of Hair Originals products. Top 3 words.
Ethically sourced, 100% natural, and third is alternative to damaging hair with the color chemical treatments.
Okay. What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of Hair Originals' proudest achievement?
Hair Originals' proudest achievement is, I would say, that people within India also are getting to know about this category and knowing that India plays a big role in it. Otherwise, I don't think people were really even knowing about it much. Nice.
Which celebrity would you like to see as Hair Originals' loyal brand ambassador?
That is a question actually we have been doing around also. So I can give you certain. Rather than a strategic point of view, more often I would say the way it connects. So since we are solving a problem for also for cancer and alopecia patients, so Sonali Bendre, again, when I was growing up, one of my favorite, had a similar story around it. So that is
Yes.
something we feel is a very good
Good.
story.
Yes. That relation is there. If Hair Originals products had a superpower, what would it be?
Superpower to make people young, which we are already doing. I remember, and that has stayed with me. Somebody, when they got the whole transformation, they told us that I feel like I am having blood circulation 10 times than it was before. So, and I could see that the person is looking 10 years younger.
Wow. One brand that you think is your closest competitor?
There is a brand called Maven in the US. That is
Okay.
something I feel is doing.
Sure. What is one of the most interesting customer feedback that you have received?
One of the most interesting
Customer feedback.
customer feedback. Uh, we got a feedback from a young mother. I mean, she had a 1 or 2 year old kid. She talked us about that. She likes the product, but she sent a picture of her kid holding onto her hair extension and sleeping, and she said it seems he's liking it even more than me, and I really like that.
Nice. Very nice.
That was
Last
a
question.
beautiful picture. Yeah.
Yes. That was very, very, inspiring and motivational as well. Last question, Jitendra. Can you tell us in numbers, where do you see your brand 5 years down the line?
So again, as we see a global opportunity here, I definitely feel that we should be somewhere in excess of a 500 crore annual run rate business within 5 years.
Nice. 500 crores in the next 5 years is what Jitendra Sharma has envisioned for Hair Originals. With this, we come to an end to the D2C dialogues. I would like to thank Jitendra Sharma, founder, CEO of Hair Originals, to share his insights with us here today. Thank you very much, Jitendra, for coming on D2C Insights.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.